Yes. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli wa nusallimu ala Rasulil Kareem. Amma ba'd. Now moving on to harfun tawbikh and harfun tahdid. This detail, the brief summary already came in. Al-Wusta. Here are a few more important rules. What's the rule? Ahrufun li-tawbikh wa tahdid. And we said here, at-tawbikh lawmun ala al-khata' wa taqa'u ahrufu qabla al-madi lafzan wa ma'nan. That's Tawbik means to lament somebody on a mistake they made in the which tense? In the past. You can't lament on the future because it hasn't happened yet. You following? So lawmun al khata, mistake that happened. And the ahruf tahdid, which tense shows the past madi? Yes. However, it has to be either lafzan or ma'nan. Like it may be lafzan or ma'nan madi. But it has to be past tense because it's what? Tawbikh. And the opposite of tawbikh is tahdid. Hadda yahuddu wa la yahuddu ala ta'amil miskin. Do not encourage. So tahdid is talabun bi shiddah. This came before. وَاتَّقَى أَحْرُفُ قَبْلَ الْمُضَارِعِ. Yes? And this is what? Lamenting the past, encouraging the future. So it's going to have a mudari after it. Yes? Common sense? Acha. And then أحرف التوبيخ والتحضيض. Same page? Something happened there? Okay. There are 5. What are the 5? هلا. So, if you say, هَلَّا صَلَّيْتَ, what does that mean? Why do you not perform salah? وَهَلَّا تُصَلِّي? Why don't you? Okay? Some say, هَلَّا is really, هَلَّا, harfu istifam and harfu nafyin. Next one is Allah. So, Allah anfaqta lil-fuqara. Why did you not? Allah tunfiq lil-fuqara. Why don't you? This came in Musta already. Lawla came twice, is mistaken here. Lawla, nahu, lawla, sumta. وَلَوْلَا تَصُومُ. Why did you not fast? Why don't you fast? Yes. Nothing to explain here. It's all from Musta. This is where this is where the masala comes in. Very important for Quran. Now remember in la is for, what do you say lawla is for? Lawla is for tahdid or tawbikh. So the asal meaning of lawla is tahdidul mukhatabi ala fa'lin fil mustaqbil. Okay? Yes? Like lawla tasum. Yes? لولا سمت لولا تصوم. Okay. Now, sometimes, like Amr, using a balagha, what's Amr? Talabul fa'l. Meaning, I said, pass me a pen. So I'm a teacher, I'm in higher authority. You say, pass me a pen. So now I am talabul fa'l la wajhi istila. So now you are expected to give me the pen. If you don't give me the pen, what happens? You become disobedient. Correct? That's a simple law of Amr. Somebody in authority tells somebody low in authority to do something, is wajib for him to do that. If you don't do it, it becomes as asi. That's a simple, like Arabic. But sometimes, the amr, the same way you can have amr, not for talabul fa'il, not to demand something, but rather for majaz. Fa'tu bi suratin min mithli. Go on, if the Quran is not real, it's a made up book, bring an ayah like it. Why don't you bring a verse like it? You can't. So the command here is not what? To tell them, do something, rather than saying, you can't. You won't be able to do it. Are you following? So here, لَوْلَا يُكَلِّمُنَ اللَّهُ أَتَأْتِينَ آيَةً. The disbelievers of Makkah, what did they say? Why does Allah not speak to us? أَوْ تَأْتِينَ آيَةً. أو what? Bring a sign, like not an ayah, like a verse, but bring rather a whole big, a clear, like open, like a miracle, it's obvious. Now, if we look at it here, it's like, isn't that the point we say, well, that's a very simple demand. Why do the Prophet not do it? Because sometimes, it's like, for example, just like what's happening right now in the world. Like somebody before, it's like, I didn't know what was going on was actually this bad. So he's excusing the way he didn't know he may be evil in his heart. He said, I didn't know. Now as things get worse and worse, the murder is increasing, bombing is increasing, the torment is increasing, genocide is increasing. Now those people who don't want to because of the money, their fame, whatever they're scared of, like some of them, I saw one thing, they're like, somebody showed him evidence of something, they refused to look at it. So look, this is somebody who's been shot so many times. Look, there's a baby girl with like bullet holes in her. So the person refused to look at it. So there's a ayah. But you don't want to accept, so it wouldn't be any benefit anyways. Are you following? So Allah knew that if you bring, and when you bring that now, it's like, now if this goes to court, obviously in the court of Allah, Allah will answer them. And in court, it's like, you presented evidence, you refuse the evidence. So now why is it worse or better? It's worse. So let's say I gave you enough signs that if you really wanted to believe, you would believe. And in there, when an ayah becomes very, very clear, it's called itmamul hujjah. Like when the sun rises from the west, it's like there's no more, like you've seen everything now. There's no more, like this is a clear sign from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You following? When Dabatul Ard comes, there's like no more, no turning back. When you die, you see it's no turning back. When the Malakul Maut comes, no turning back. So this would be one of the no turning back situations. So Allah said, no, I'm not going to give you, speak to you directly or give you an ayah as you're asking for, exactly as you're asking for. Allah said, people saw Musa, they heard Allah speaking and said, we don't, Sami'na wa asayna. That's the Naqa of Saleh reviews. So anyway, it's a bit of a tafsir actually. So they were claiming to the Prophet, oh look, we're telling you, let Allah speak to us or bring an ayah. Meaning they were thinking that they're making the Prophet ajiz, that he can't bring this. So this lawla is like ta'jiz, that you won't be able to do this. Okay? Now, if lawla comes on a verb which has already passed. So if lawla, what comes after lawla? A future event. It means tahdid. Yes? Or the majaz of tahdid is what? Ta'jiz. If lawla comes on a verb which has already passed, events are already passed, what was it for then? Yes? So if it's already a past event, you can't do tahdid in a past event, can you? You can do it alone. Yes? فإن كان المتكلم أعلى من المخاطب يكون لتوبيخ. Like you reprimanded him. For example, it's called تغليظ and تنديم. It's the same thing basically, different words. Remember, like they didn't have a council of Nahw who made up the terms. Like one person said this, one person said this, and one became more famous. But you say in different books, we say tawbikh in our books and the books I've read. But you also have in tafsir taghlizi wa tandimi. They mean the same thing as tawbikh. For example, when Aisha Siddiqa radiyallahu ta'ala anha was accused of what she was accused of, then some believers were a bit naive and a bit gullible, and they thought maybe it is true and maybe there's something to it, we should look into it. So they started saying things where we were a bit caught up. So what happened then? لولا إذ سمعتموه ظن المؤمنون والمؤمنات بأنفسهم خيرا. Why did these believers not think good about themselves or good about other believers when they heard this? There was no evidence and they just made like assumptions. Why did they not think good in themselves, about themselves, like in their hearts? Are you following me? It's tamdeen. And if it's from Musawi, you don't have the right to do tawbikh, do you? You same level. You might, yes? It will become what? تمني لولا أخرتنا إلى أجل قريب. It doesn't always have to be musawi. Musawi أو دونه. Yeah, دونه. So what they say to the malaika, and when the malaika comes to take the souls, لولا أخرتنا إلى أجل قريب. Why don't you give us a bit more time? So why is it not becoming? Because the ta'khir is gone, because it comes to take the souls and more has come. That's فعل فعته. You can't delay the death. So you're saying, why don't you? Are you following? So in Quranic verses, you have to remember this. If it's lawla comes before the fi'l mudari, it's for talabun bishiddatin or for ta'jiz. And if the event has passed, then we say for tawbikh. And in here, some words we use word tandeem, some say taghliz, and it comes for tamanni as well. Are you following? In terms of Quran, it's a very important Quranic principle for tafsir and translation. Okay? Right. Now, if I use lawla, but I'm not speaking to somebody. I said, لولا حضر عبد الرحمن الدرس. Is it lawm? I'm speaking to you. Is it lawm? Because it's not your mistake, is it? I'm not doing a future event. It's a past event. But I'm not speaking to the sahib al-fa'il. How can I lament you or criticize you or encourage you when you're not even the person involved? لولا إذ جاءهم بأسنا تضرعوا. What do you say here? إذا توجه الكلام إلى غير صاحب الفعل يكون للتعجب. Yes? That when the kalam is mukhatab is not صاحب الفعل. I'm speaking to you about Abdul Rahman's mistakes. Abdul Rahman's error. What will it be now? تعجب. Because لولا إذ جاءتكم, no, جاءهم. So it's like, why did it not تضرعوا? So جاءهم بأسنا تضرعوا. مفعول فيه is the فعل. So why did they not, like it's ta'ajjub, you can say why not, you can say ta'ajjub, why did they not tadarra'u, humble themselves when our punishment came unto them? Why did they not humble themselves when our punishment came unto them? Are you following me? So now here, what meaning is this going to be ta'ajjub? Yes? Okay, so let's look at the chart here, right? So we have now lawla, right? Okay, what comes after lawla? Madi. Okay, it's a lawla to mukhatab or lawla to sahib al-fa'il. So if you use lawla to sahib al-fa'il, And what's possibility now? You have Madi, or you have what? Mudari. If it's Mudari, it's going to be what? It's going to be Tahdid. That's Hakiki meaning. Or what else can it be? Ta'jeez. Come on, prove it. If it's a Madi, what can it be? Huh? It's originally for Tawbikh. It can also be for what? Tamannin? Yes? Or Tamanni. And if it's غير صاحب الفعل, so what is it? غير صاحب الفعل. You're speaking to somebody else. What is it going to be for? تعجب. Is that clear to everybody? Okay. إذا كان لولا للشرط تدل على وقوع ما بعدها لعدم وقوع جوابها وإذا كان لغير الشرط تدل على عدم وقوع ما بعدها. Right. This is interesting right here. When you have لولا for shart, right? What does that mean? That the shart took place. لولا القرآن لما اهتدينا. So Quran did take place. When you have لولا for تحديد, what comes after لولا? The triplet didn't take place. For example, say لولا قرأت لفشلت. If you had not read, you would have failed. لفشلت, you would have failed in your exam. لخسرت, لفشلت, لرسبت. Yes? I said لولا قراءتك. I said لولا قرأت full stop. Did this قراءة take place? لولا قراءتك لفشلت. That قراءة took place. And لولا قرأت, the قراءة take place. No, I mean, why don't you read? لولا قرأت. You should have read. So now this doesn't take place. You're following, so you have to keep this in mind. I mean, it's there, but it's made this note in your mind mentally, so you're able to understand that. Okay? سبحان الله وبحمده سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك اشهد ان لا اله الا انت نستغفرك ونتوب اليك.